So last week, a lot happened that we were waiting for to see would more develop. And so Friday, we actually were supposed to speak about Jay-Z and the accusations and the lawsuit. And we decided to wait. We reviewed Jamie Foxx stand up. And we said, you know what, let's wait so we don't have to rush. And it's actually great that we waited because over the weekend, a huge development happened.
Yeah.
So let's start with the beginning. In October, a Texas lawyer, actually, I should pull up the guy's name and Jay-Z's response. Hold on.
Busby.
There you go. Oh, it looked like stuff is being said today. Yeah. Forbes, Rolling Stone. Trying to see if I could pull up the statement Jay made when it first happened. Got it. All right. So, back in October, a lawyer named Busby, was representing 120 new cases against Diddy. It was a class action civil suit against Diddy. And in there were lots of different allegations from different people. He did a press conference that was about 30 minutes. And in there, he went over like 4 or 5 of the different stories of women accusing Diddy of SA. And so it was said in one of those instances that there were 2 other celebrities involved in a group R-word. And that one celebrity held a young woman down while the other 2 took turns. And that one person was kind of a witness. There was even something else about a 4th person, if I remember correctly, that was not a celeb or the young lady didn't recognize. So last week it was brought out that Jay-Z was supposed to be celebrity B. It was said celebrity A, celebrity B, Diddy, and another person. And so it was said that celebrity B was Jay-Z. And the story was that Jay-Z and Diddy took turns on this 13-year-old young lady. The story was that a 13-year-old girl was trying to go to the VMAs in the year 2000. She was unable to get in. Then she was there trying to see if she could get to an after party. From there, it was said that she was a limo driver approached her and said, hey, come on, you can roll with us. She got in the limo, had to sign an NDA, went to the party, had a drink that made her feel woozy, went into a bedroom to lay down, and then 4 people came in, a woman who we don't know that is said to be a celebrity, Diddy, Jay-Z, and another person, and there was a gang R-word happening. And that from there, she fled. She went to a gas station, called her dad. Dad picked her up, and they drove home. If I misquoted anything, forgive me. I'm trying to run through this quickly, audience. So Jay-Z immediately put out a statement once this was put out. I'm going to read that statement, and then we'll move forward to what happened next, as much has happened since this came out. And so Jay-Z said, oh, come on, website. What in the world? Oh, ad. Okay. So this is Jay-Z's statement here. It says, my lawyer received a blackmail attempt called a demand letter from a lawyer, quote unquote, named Tony Busby. What he had calculated was the nature of these allegations and the public scrutiny would make me want to settle. No, sir. It had the opposite effect. It made me want to expose you for the fraud you are in a very public fashion. So no, I will not give you one red penny. These allegations are so heinous in nature that I implore you to file a criminal complaint, not a civil one. Whomever would commit such a crime against a minor should be locked away. Would you not agree? These alleged victims would deserve real justice if that were the case. This lawyer, who I have done a bit of research on, seems to have a pattern of these type of theatrics. I have no idea how you have come to be such a deplorable human, Mr. Busby, but I promise you I have seen your kind many times over. I'm more than prepared to deal with your type. You claim to be a Marine? Marines are known for their valor. You have neither honor nor dignity. My only heartbreak is for my family. My wife and I will have to sit our children down, one of whom is at the age where her friends will surely see the press and ask questions about the nature of these claims, and explain the cruelty and greed of people. I mourn yet another loss of innocence. Children should not have to endure such at their young age. It is unfair to have to try to understand inexplicable degrees of malice meant to destroy families and human spirit. My heart and support goes out to true victims in the world who have to watch how their life story is dressed in costume for profitability by this ambulance chaser in a cheap suit. You have made a terrible error in judgment thinking that, quote, all celebrities are the same. I'm not from your world. I'm a young man who made it out of the project in Brooklyn. We don't play these types of games. We have a very strict code and honor. We protect children. You seem to exploit people for personal gain. Only your network of conspiracy theorists, fake physics, will believe the idiotic claims you have levied against me. That, if not for the seriousness surrounding harm to kids, would be laughable. I look forward to showing you just how different I am. And so that was on December 8th.
Mm-hmm.
9 days ago at the time of recording this. And since then, more has happened. Busby responded saying he was not seeking any money. He was seeking to mediate for his client. But that's clearly a lie, because what would mediating be if it's a civil suit? Civil suits are for money. So you're mediating for money, a settlement. So he was playing word games, but Jay-Z's right.
Jay-Z was playing word games too, but
Oh, Jay-Z was straight up trying to attack this guy back. This was retaliation and trying to diminish the man's public perception, his credibility. Yeah.
So when I say Jay-Z was playing word games, what I'm saying is that Jay-Z never denied what he was accused of.
Mm-hmm.
He took it as an opportunity to attack the lawyer, which I get the angle there.
Mm-hmm.
If you attack the victim, the court of public opinion will probably rake you at the coals, or
Right.
at least try to.
Mm-hmm.
But then he kind of indirectly says the victim is a liar, because he refers to true victims.
Right. He's calling the victim a liar. He's calling this guy an ambulance chaser. And he said, if it wasn't that you said I was harming a kid, this would be laughable, because it's so far from the truth and realism.
He also kind of alludes to the fact that people like there's a code in Brooklyn or something that people don't do stuff like this. Boy, let me tell you, that's not true. I understood the perspective, right? I understood where he was coming from and what he was trying to say. I just think that to blanket it like that is I wouldn't even call it irresponsible. I just think it's inaccurate, I'm not saying all of this to say that he did what he's accused of.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to make sure that both sides are considered, right? Like, and both statements are considered. And yeah, when he first responded, I read it and I thought to myself, well, you're not saying you didn't do it, but also it's
Sorry.
it's very strategic to discredit a lawyer instead of say the victim is a liar, right? And that's why I say there's wordplay in what he did as well.
Yeah, I agree.
His statement seems a little less buttoned up and almost like maybe he wrote it and then someone like read it and made sure it was okay for public consumption. It doesn't seem like it was like a lawyer statement. Um, it does seem like it came from like an upset person who's being attacked or whatever.
Right.
And I totally understand. I wanna make that clear too. That if I was accused of what he was accused of, I would want to defend myself, and I would be upset knowing that that's not true about me. But yeah, there were some holes to me in what he was saying because I just feel like he did everything but deny that you were involved. There's also been stuff, and I'm sure you're going to get to this, but there's also been stuff coming out about him not being friends with Diddy and all of that, and I'm just like, what's happening here? Like, were we?
A smart strategy. That's what's happening.
I guess. Yeah, sure. But please continue.
Yeah. So this is from USA Today. So the accuser of Sean Jay-Z Carter and Sean Diddy Combs is claiming she made some mistakes in her account of the allegations. In an NBC News interview published Friday, which was right after we finished potting, by the way.
Right.
The Alabama woman, represented by Houston-based lawyer Tony Busby, recanted certain details of her claims levied at Carter and Combs. Her lawsuit was filed as Jane Doe. It says Carter pushed back on Saturday, saying true justice is coming in a statement shared by his reps with USA Today. She told the news organization NBC, quote, I have made some mistakes in her recollection of the night, when she says the music mogul duo R-worded her at an MTV Music Video Awards after party when she was 13 in September 2000. She told NBC she stands by her allegations, but the accuser's father pushed back on her earlier claims that he picked her up from the party. What else we got here? The woman also said she talked with an unnamed celebrity at the after party, but the celebrity says they were not in New York at the time of the allegations. They were actually on tour. According to NBC, and photos show Carter and Combs at a different location than the one laid out in her claims. The woman brought a lawsuit against Combs in October. Oh, we said this part already. Okay. Both men have repeatedly denied the allegations.
I mean, it's hard to believe anything Diddy says at this point. Let's just be honest. But
oh yeah, I was just gonna read the Jay-Z part. I get Jay-Z put out another statement Saturday. It says today's investigative report proves this quote unquote attorney Busby filed a false complaint against me in the pursuit of money and fame. This incident didn't happen, and yet he filed it in court and doubled down in the press. True justice is coming, Carter said, adding that, quote, this was over before it began, and this 1-800 lawyer doesn't realize it yet. Tuesday, earlier today, a letter addressed to a judge handling the case, Carter's lawyer, Alex Spiro, cast doubt on the credibility of Busby's law firm by claiming the Texas attorney and his associates have previously pressured a client to include an embattled Combs in their allegations. In his own statement Saturday, Spiro slammed Busby once again. Quote, it is stunning. It is stunning that a lawyer would not only file such a serious complaint without proper vetting, but would make things worse by further peddling this false story in the press, Spiro said, writing that they want the case dismissed and will make up the matter of additional discipline for Mr. Busby and all of the lawyers that filed the complaint. They reached out to comment for Busby. And Busby told NBC Jane Doe's case was referred to our firm by another who vetted it prior to sending it to us. And his client remains fiercely adamant that what she has stated is true to the best of her memory. So that's what's going on. That's where we're at today. We don't, we're not going to play the full interview from NBC. It's like 2.5 minutes. It's a lot to play here, but y'all could go look it up. I'll start. This was challenging for me. I say all the time, I don't care how big a fan you are of someone. If they did some foul shit, they did some foul shit. And so when things first came out, I was like, wow, this is kind of crazy. I hope this isn't true. But as I kept looking at her story, there just were a lot of things that weren't adding up to me. And that's not to say it wasn't true. It just was like, man, this is kind of weird, no? Like, this is a little weird. And weird that the details didn't kind of add up. Weird that it was 24 years later. Weird that of all these years, you never took you never tried to get a criminal case going. Weird that at this point, you're just adding Jay-Z to this case months later. It was just a lot of weird stuff for me. And that was the challenge. Did that mean to me that Jay-Z was completely innocent? Absolutely not. We don't know until we know, until we hear things that prove otherwise, until we see evidence. I just got to say, like, right, these are some wild ass allegations. Let's see what happens next. And that's kind of why we agreed off pod that we would kind of wait until we knew more to speak about this. Friday, when we saw the video, because we both saw it separately and sent it to each other and sent different versions, found the full version, all of these things, it was like, wow, so none of this shit was true. Because the dad says he don't remember picking her up. At the time, she lived in New Rochelle, where they allegedly was. It would have been a 5-hour drive. And so you don't remember a 5-hour drive with your frantic, hurt, crying daughter. That's interesting. The people she says she spoke to at the party, they were like, yeah, we never was there. We were on tour somewhere else, and there was documents to prove that. And it's like, oh, so this is all lies. And so that part was really messed up. To me, I think anytime there are allegations against anybody, as Jay-Z's statement says, it hurts other people who are true victims when someone comes forward with false allegations. Mm-hmm. And I don't think people realize that when they're trying to get money and they're trying to do these things. Mm-hmm. Truly, this also hurt the case of the 120 people, which I don't see a lot of people speaking about. But this is part of 120 people versus Combs. Yes, Jay-Z was added on and probably now taken off. We'll see what happens. But those 120 people, we don't know that they're lying, or whatever, 119 other people, I guess, right? We don't know that they're lying. They haven't even had their chance to have a day in court yet. And right now, the fact that this has already been proven to be untrue, it hurts those other women's case. Right. And I think that alone could be the reason that these cases get thrown out.
Yeah, I mean, I hope that there is an opportunity for maybe another lawyer to take over the case, because I don't know a whole lot of legal stuff, but I would imagine that might be an option that would long-term help people who really need help. And right. Who really need someone to represent them. I don't think that this Busby guy is a viable option anymore for a class action suit.
No.
Because there's just too much stain on.
Son, come on. Like, you're gonna say, well, it was something that was given to us. They vetted it first. That made your whole firm look crazy.
And whether or not, whether or not, it was done whatever way it was done on that level, I think just the fact that someone as high profile as Jay-Z has actively tried to discredit this person, there will be people who, even if this person innocently got involved in this, just for argument's sake, I don't know. But let's
Mhm.
say he innocently got involved. Like, I'm genuinely trying to help these people. This person came to me, or I was forwarded this person, or whatever, and now I'm trying to add them, whatever. Jay-Z's power, Jay-Z's influence, Jay-Z's reach, him make basically campaigning against this person is not going to fare well for him,
Nope.
whether he had good intentions or not.
Right.
I don't know what his uh, book of business looks like moving forward because of this. What you don't want to do is end up on the wrong side of something with someone who is that powerful and has that much reach. And
Right.
whether that person is good or bad, right?
Right.
Whether that person is guilty or not guilty. But someone that powerful and someone that high profile has so many people that want to believe that they are good, that you don't want to end up on the wrong side of that, right?
Right. Mhm.
So I'm curious how this person's, like I said, I'm curious what his book of business looks like by the top of the year, um,
Yeah.
because I think that this will have a big impact, and I think that's basically what Jay-Z tried to say, as snobby and as elitist as it comes across.
Mhm.
It is true that Jay-Z has enough influence and enough reach and is in bed with enough different types of people in the world who have power and wealth,
Right.
um, that they could put this man out of business.
Yeah, and now there are also like a lot of people on the internet speaking about a past case he has. I won't mention the case, but a really big case that Busby won a while back that they're saying, well, maybe that needs to be reinvestigated. Maybe that needs to be overturned. And so, yeah, I agree. There's a lot of public scrutiny coming for Busby. And truly, I'm relieved that these allegations are false. Um, it's never easy when someone you are a fan of in any capacity,
Mm-hmm.
when they have allegations brought against them. And we've been seeing that a lot as of late. And so,
Yep.
I was relieved, but I think something that we have to kind of realize today is that no one is perfect. And this also will not be the last allegation we hear about a high profile celebrity, because it seems that a lot of people have been doing dirt in the shadows, and today those things are coming to light. So, yeah, it appears that Jay-Z had nothing to do with this. This is false. And that's great for a lot of reasons. On the flip side of that, once again, I think it sucks that we continue to see some people bringing out false allegations because truly they don't realize, I don't think, how much it hurts the people who truly are victims and truly are trying to muster up the bravery and the courage it takes to do this, because it's not easy to come forward and say, hey, this person SA'd me, this person R-worded me, especially when it's a high profile celebrity. It's not easy to do that for the women who it happened from an uncle, like, let alone it being a high profile celebrity. And so I just hope that people realize these false allegations that you're trying to do as a money grab, that you're trying to do to come up, that you're trying to do to bring down somebody else, you're really hurting a lot of other women in the process when you bring out these false allegations. Because it's not, it makes it look like everybody is lying because there are so many bad apples. So many people lie. How can we believe this is the truth without super crazy evidence like the Cassie video?
It's very hard for. So a couple things. I know you spoke to, like, why it took so long for this person to come forward. We know it's not valid, but why it took this person so long to come forward. A big reason why people take so long to come forward, whether it is months or years or what have you, is because, or weeks, is because the fear that people won't believe them.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to reiterate something I've said here before.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the time, people are not lying. Doesn't
Right.
mean that people don't lie, but if statistically, most of the time, people are not lying. So this doesn't mean that you just stop believing people when they say that they've had something like this happen to them.
Right.
Everything deserves to be investigated,
Agreed.
and everyone deserves the right to a fair trial.
Agreed.
But please understand that just because one person's story may not be accurate doesn't mean that everybody's story is a lie.
Oh no, I agree with that as well.
I'm not
I'm
saying
sorry
this
if that's
to
how it came across.
no. I'm saying that to our audience. I'm not saying
Oh,
that to
okay,
you.
okay.
I'm just saying because I think that overwhelmingly sometimes when
Mm-hmm.
this sort of thing happens,
Mm-hmm.
there are a lot of people on the internet who turn around and say, "You see,"
Oh
instead
yeah,
of
and
saying,
that's what I'm
"Oh, this
saying,
is
right?
one bad situation. This is one situation that wasn't right." There's
Yeah.
plenty of people who are like, "See what I told you? They bitches be lying," and it's
Right.
not. Majority of the time, statistically, I'm not just speaking out of my ass.
Mm-hmm.
Majority of the time, it is the truth.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying, right? I agree with you, and that's kind of what I'm saying here is that I don't think the few liars realize how much they're hurting the women who are telling the truth.
Yeah.
Because you're making it harder for them to come forward just off the rip. And then once they do, those same people you're talking about, those naysayers,
Mm-hmm.
it makes it easier for the naysayers to say, oh, but remember, this lady lied about this person. This other lady lied about this person. And it makes it harder for the people who are telling the truth.
Yeah. Yeah. We gotta go.
Yep.
But
But do you have a last thought? Because it seemed like you had more to say.
no, my final thought is, you know, I hope that this is it. In terms of Jay-Z, I hope
Okay.
that this is the end of the conversation.
Mhm.
I hope that we don't have to have more conversations about him and things like that. That's all I'm gonna say. Because what we've learned is that you hear one thing, and that's never the last thing.
Right.
So, but I hope because of the way this turned out, I hope that's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
And listen, I will say one last thing. I've said it already here today. I'll say it one more time. I don't care who the person is. If we see proof that this person did some foul shit, then they have to go.
Yeah.
You know, Jay-Z is one of my favorite people in the world.
Mhm.
If this would have been true, if it would have went to trial and we would have seen evidence, then he got to stay under the jail too. I don't think anyone is exempt, and I hope that people realize that because I know when it's your favorite, it's easy to make excuses. Or one of the people you're a high level fan of, whatever, however you want to say it.
Mhm.
It's easy to be like, nah, no way, he's such a good dude. Da, 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 da. The reality is we don't know. We don't know these people. We don't know what they're capable of. We don't really know shit until we see evidence. And I just want people to realize that it doesn't matter who you are. What matters is the evidence and the investigative process. Once those things come out and a trial happens, then we can have real discussions.
Yeah.
But we cannot just blanketly say people are innocent without knowing what's going on. And I hope that people realize that. So that's it for me.
All right.